And we're going to start this series of notes on graphing lines by looking at the process for sketching the graph of a linear function depending on the form that we're given with the equation. We might see it in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. We might see the equation in standard form, ax plus by equals c. In either of those cases, we're going to identify the intercept and either the x or y intercept and the slope of the line. In slope-intercept form, that slope is right there in the equation as the coefficient on the x. We call that m for the slope. Or in standard form, we can find that slope by dividing negative a over b. So the coefficient on x divided by the coefficient on b, and then we make that negative to get the slope in standard form. So let's start with example 1. And our equation is y equals 5 over 2x plus 10. That's in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. The m in that equation is the slope. So we can identify the slope, m, as equal to 5 over 2. That's our coefficient on the x in the equation. Okay, that slope is the rise over the run to the right. Okay, and so starting at the y-intercept, we would rise 5 and run to the right 2. Okay, the y-intercept is the b. So when we look at this equation, our b, our constant, is 10. So the y-intercept is 0, 10. Now 0, 10 doesn't appear on this particular coordinate grid because our maximum y value is 6. But that's not a problem because we can also use the x-intercept as a starting place. And to find the x-intercept, we're going to put 0 in for the y and then solve this equation for x. So I'll have a 0 in place of this y equals 5 divided by 2x plus 10. I'm going to subtract the constant from both sides, so minus 10 from both sides, and that gives me a negative 10 equals 5 over 2x. Now I'm going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal of 5 over 2, which is 2 over 5. So my 2/5 and my 5/2 cancel, leaving x by itself. On the other side, 5 goes into 10 2 times, and 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. And so my x-intercept is going to be negative 4, 0. So I can come over to my graph, go to negative 4, 0, and plot my x-intercept. Then I can use my slope, 5 over 2. So starting at my x-intercept, I'm going to rise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to run to the right 2, 1, 2, and plot a point. I could also go down and to the left. So I go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and to the left 1, 2. And there is another point on my line. So this is the graph of the line y equals 5 over 2x plus 10. So in the next page, whoops, too far, you're going to pause the video and try graphing y equals negative 1/2 x plus 2 on your dry erase board or on some scratch paper. First identifying the slope, then the y-intercept, the x-intercept, and then use those 3 characteristics of this function to graph the line. You can resume the video when you're ready to go over it. So looking at our equation, the coefficient on the x is negative 1/2. That represents the slope. So the slope of this line is negative 1 over 2. The y-intercept is the b. The b here is 2. And so we can come over to our graph, go to 2 on the y-axis, and that's our y-intercept. We could use that as the starting place with the slope Since the slope is negative, this line is going to be going downhill from left to right. So I can go down 1 and to the right 2, down 1 and to the right 2, down 1 and to the right 2, or I could go up 1 and to the left 2, up 1 to the left 2, up 1. Right? There's our y-intercept at 0, 2, and we can plot that line. So there's our line. If we want to identify the x-intercept, we could just look at the graph. Since we plotted it, we see that it crosses the x-axis at 4, 0. So 4, 0 is the x-intercept. Or we can put in a 0 for y in the equation. So instead of y equals, we have 0 equals negative 1/2 x plus 2. We're going to subtract that constant from both sides, and then that gives us a negative 2 equals negative 1/2 x. We're going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal of negative 1/2. That's the coefficient on the x. That's multiplying both sides by negative 2. And we get 4 equals x. That's the x-intercept that we saw on the graph, the point where the graph crosses the x-axis.